was first staged in 1887. Limerick were the first ever winners of the McCarthy Cup when claiming the 1921 crown. And the defending champions are today seeking their very first 3 in a row, joining Kilkenny, Cork and Tipperary. Kilkenny are seeking a first All-Ireland senior title since 2015. Colm Lyons throws the ball in. The 2022 All-Ireland final is underway. Limerick playing from left to right. Kilkenny won the toss and heading down from the Davin end down towards Hill 16. First ball in to the full forward line, one on this occasion, and Kilkenny will gain a little bit of satisfaction from that early ball. A lot of space in the middle of the field as Kilkenny go into the attack for the very first time, flipping the ball from just outside the 65-metre line, and that has just gone to the right and wide off the stick of Pádraig Walsh.
Yeah, looking down the field here, Hugh Lawler has gone in on Aaron Gallan. He won that. Well, Gallan missed the ball there, but you saw Richie Reader, the way he worked that ball out to Walsh. He'd be disappointed he didn't put that over.
Nicky Quaid aiming again at the road. Hegarty didn't quite get there. Bypass Kilkenny, charging down, grabbed by William O'Donoghue, trying to get it back towards Kyle Hayes. Didn't quite work. Declan Hannon is there as well. Stalemate on the Kilkenny 65-metre line. Ball breaks outside Limerick, have it once more, waiting for this. Dermot Burns, lose it. Oh, lovely wrist work, Dermot Burns, when he lost the possession and he wins a free. Now that's skill in the heat and the pulsating heat of an All-Ireland final, having lost the slither initially.
Yeah, well, that's one thing with this Limerick team, the skill level they have. We see Garrod Hegarty doing that every day. Beautiful flick up there by Burns, and he wins the free. He's going to take it himself. He's 31 points scored in the championship so far for a wing back. Some going, and these long-range frees becoming a massive feature of his game.
There is a slight breeze facing him in this first half. That's the angle. Gives you a beautiful global picture of Dermot Burns. Hit it low, trajectory, and send it over the bar. We are up and running in Croke Park.
TJ Reid in a corner forward. Barry Nash is picking him up, but we'll keep you posted on the change. Adrian Mullen obviously out the field.
Long tuck out from Owen Murphy. Declan Hannon. Kyle Hayes. Gerard Hegarty was looking for it. Goes long instead. Diagonal ball. First touch, not quite the best from Seamus Flanagan. The linesman, however, indicates it's going to be a Limerick ball. Flanagan wanted to take it quickly, but there was nobody immediately available and decided against it.
Yeah, and Tommy Walsh picking him up, which is interesting. He's obviously more physical. Mikey Butler and Graham Mulcahy was two smaller men.
Graham Mulcahy. Kilkenny defending admirably, still making a bit of space. Great play by Mulcahy, but the finish is just a little bit off target. But you can see why he's number 15. Looking sharp in his early exchanges. Again, Owen Murphy goes long, putting the pressure on the Limerick full back line. Declan Hannon comes in to back him up. Coming in to challenge is Billy Ryan. Still Declan Hannon, in goes the physical exchanges. They were there in 2019, they're here now. Limerick should be well prepared for this. I remember being the sideline reporter 3 years ago, and the first 20 minutes, I mean, if you had false teeth, they'd be shaking.
Yeah, you know? But that was you can see that it's Billy Ryan there. The left hand is in around. It's the spare arm tackle. Declan Hannon, interestingly, has picked up the first 2 breaking balls back in the pocket there. He got a heavy hit there from Adrian Mullen, but the condition of Limerick players, they can take that in hits.
Nicky Quaid again goes long, bypasses Seamus Flanagan. Gerard Hegarty bearing down, takes a shot. Oh, what a brilliant goal! It's his second goal in the championship. A cracker in the Munster final against Clare. Look at what he does here. It is magic again from the number 10.
Yeah, look at Seamus Flanagan. He just stepped over the ball, left him up. What a finish. You're talking about one of the greatest goalies of all time. He just pushed Richie Reid out of the way and stuck it up in the top of the net. What a goal, what a start by Limerick.
1-1 Limerick. Kilkenny yet to score. The All-Ireland champions are setting out their stall. Takes the hit, stays within the wide lines. Kilkenny under a little bit of pressure now. Good work on this occasion by Mikey Butler. Giving it over for his Tommy Walsh. Limerick put the pressure on. Ball inside towards Seamus Flanagan. Good anticipation, however, as Kilkenny looked to be a little bit exposed. but Hugh Lawler did well. Nice pickup as well in the heat of battle. The referee has blown his whistle, giving a free to Kilkenny.
And a crucial piece of play there by Hugh Lawler. He did so well to get out in front, two men bearing down on him, and you know, not sure there was an awful lot in that, if that was what the free was for, but just that little flick back there by Flanagan. But look at the pickup, breaking through the two tackles, and the finish from that angle. It's just incredible. And Owen Murphy, who's, I say, one of the greatest goalies we've ever seen, just couldn't get anywhere near it.
Free taken by the Kilkenny keeper is dropping to the left and wide. Second wide of the match from a Kilkenny perspective. Brian Cody in his 19th All-Ireland final, 24 years in charge, going for his 12th. Facing a major challenge from the three in a row seeking Limerick team. Beautifully caught, there's another chance here. Scooped it over the bar. I think Aaron Gillard had more green than white in his mind at that particular moment.
He did. I think he caught this with his right hand. Yeah, he did. No, he actually did. Yeah. He bobbled it in his left, caught it in his right, and kicks it over and lost the hurl, which he does quite a bit actually in games. But good, great catch, great score.
Didn't know they played football down in Patrick's Well, but obviously quite versatile. Stalemate here.
Kick,
Speaking as a former Offaly footballer, obviously, Michael.
Kicked off the ground there, and Kilkenny need to score just to settle them in.
Hydration is important for both players and management. 6.5 minutes gone, still no score for Kilkenny. TJ Reid will surely rectify that particular statistic and information right now. 2 goals and 56 points he has scored in the journey. The goals came against Westmeath and Dublin. Follows through as he normally does. White flag is raised. Kilkenny took a little while to get going, but they're on the scoreboard now.
And they've Adrian Mullen, Tariq Walsh and Owen Cody in the half-forward line, and they haven't managed to get any ball. Great catch.
What a catch. Beautiful play. Full marks to Michael Carey as Kilkenny now begin to find their mojo, find their momentum, and that is a beautiful strike of the ball. Owen Cody with his first point in the All-Ireland final. But look at Michael Carey, young Ireland's man, Goran, son of DJ, showing what a fine hurler he is. Two Limerick lads collide, Mulcahy and Flanagan. Ball is still alive, kept in. Every ball is being chased. Good work by Aaron Gillard, giving it back. Kilkenny then find themselves under a little bit of pressure. They're queuing up. Ball inside towards Kyle Hayes, and Owen Murphy will come across to gather it. No foul committed. Needs a little bit of help. It's still there. Owen Murphy under pressure. Now the referee has blown his whistle. He's given a free out to Kilkenny.
Yeah, I think Will O'Donoghue could have tapped that over the bar. He threw the ball, hand passed it across the square, and thought maybe Hayes had run onto it. Murphy out, and Kilkenny have settled now. What a catch by Michael Carey. You mentioned it there, Marty. He's a fabulous athlete, and the way he twisted his body in the air to get under that. And then Owen Cody, what a talent he is as well. And if him and Mullen can have 2 big games, you know, it's going to be huge for Kilkenny today.
Ken Kilkenny going with the long ball, trying to seek and find TJ Reid. Plenty of Limerick defenders. Reid gets involved again. He's wearing number 10. Out comes Sean Finn. Quick hand pass, laying it off outside. Overfires Tom Morrissey. Seamus Flanagan getting there ahead of his marker, Tommy Walsh from Tullaroe. Flanagan. Referee has given the free. The Limerick forwards are looking very lively, Michael, and certainly Kilkenny find themselves under pressure.
Absolutely. This was a foul here, but just watch the pass. He still got it away. A brilliant pass to Tom Morrissey. I'd say if another second was dead, he was maybe in on goal. They have, Marty, Limerick have started with way more pace and intensity than I've seen them all year, and Kilkenny doing well to hang in there, but you can see Gallan, Flanagan, Hegarty, Morrissey, the movement is unreal in there from the forward.
That gives you an idea of what Aaron Gillan is facing. Gives you a great perspective on this All-Ireland hurling final day. 3 goals and 40 points he has scored in 2022 championship. 22 frees coming into this All-Ireland final. Second point of the match for the Patrick Swell clubman. Kilkenny full back line, all available for short ball. It comes first, Tommy Walsh. Sending it down the middle. Limerick are there in numbers. Declan Hannon looks quite assertive. Sends the ball in powerfully. Owen Murphy's underneath it. Watched it all the way. Aaron Gillan coming in to challenge him. No complaint from Owen Murphy. Just gets on with the business as you'd expect from the Glenmore man. TJ Reid getting on the ball. Challenging is William O'Donoghue. Nowhere to go. Free in for Kilkenny. He really had to work hard for the free.
He did, yeah. Well, look, it was given early, but just Owen Murphy, they're very cool in the goals. I think Declan Hannon was just trying to pick out Gillan in a one-to-one in the air. But TJ Reid, that's he's what maybe differentiates him from everyone else. His strength in the air is unbelievable. He won that free himself, and I'd say Julie tap it over.
Thomas Joseph Reid will be 35 next November, but still playing like a 16-year-old. Still doing this with ease.
Yeah. His 74th championship match today, Marty, which is an incredible statistic, and as you say, going as well as ever.
Nicky Quaid again going long, sending it down the middle towards Kyle Hayes or Garrod Hegarty. Ah, look at that. Paddy Deegan, smaller than Kyle Hayes, but wonderful hurler. Now here comes Kyle Hayes, all 6'7", using the short grip, and sends it between the posts and over the bar. Significant. Kyle Hayes.
Well, Paddy Deegan didn't do Kilkenny any favours. He gave him a pass, but they closed him down immediately. He was swarmed by 4 Limerick players. That's what that forward line does better than anybody else in the game.
New helmet is required for Kyle Hayes as we look at this great catch by Paddy Deegan. I noticed just before the game started, a lot of players were taking their helmets off. It must be very, very clammy. Puck out, caught beautifully by Dermot Byrne, sent back towards Owen Murphy with a lot of profit on it. Now that's class. That's a hurler. Enjoying a rich vein of form. Watch the catch. Eye on the ball all the time. When he landed back on terra firma, he let fly.
And only one thing in his mind, that was straight between the posts.
Ger Hegarty putting the pressure on Michael Carey. Putting Kilkenny under pressure with the short puck outs. Richie Reid getting it into the centre towards the brother, TJ. Spraying it wide over towards Paddy Deegan. O'Loughlin Gales man, sending it high. Has it got the accuracy? It certainly has the power, and it has the accuracy. Very good score.
Great work there by Kilkenny. TJ Reid again with the vision, looked up. Mikey Carey, good work breaking out from the fence, and great finish by Paddy Deegan.
Puck out gathered by Garrod Hegarty. Double marked, triple marked for a moment. Hand pass is sent back, but this time the ball is wide. Second wide of the match for Limerick. Owen Murphy wisely going for Owen Cody with the relatively short puck out. It's 3 against 3 up here. Getting onto the ball for the first time is Martin Keogh. Mossy, as he's known down in Kilkenny. And he gets his first point after 13 and a half minutes.
Yeah, and he'd be anxious to get into the game. He was taken off at half-time the last day, having scored a goal, so he'll be delighted to get that one. And Marty, you have to give huge credit to Kilkenny. Limerick have started brilliantly, but Kilkenny have just hung in there. They've taken a few chances there now, and they're slowly settling into the game.
Celebrated his 68th birthday last Tuesday. Will it be party time in Kilkenny this week coming? Here comes Tom Morrissey, who hopes that the celebrations will be in Limerick. Scoring 13 points this season in the championship. That's his first, again, in the All-Ireland final. Good score.
And this half-forward line is so important to Limerick. They have been maybe quiet by their standards in a few games this year, but that's a goal now by Hegarty, a point each by Hayes and Morrissey so far.
Owen Murphy wearing his puck out, going long. Declan Hannon is there. Spraying the ball over towards Dermot Burns. Limerick playing with a two-man full forward line at the moment. In around the house, they're waiting for the run. Kilkenny chase, Paddy Deegan gets the hurley in. Good work by Kilkenny. It's that work rate, the hooking, the blocking that has won Kilkenny so many All-Ireland titles.
Kyle Hayes changing the helmet again. Great work there by Adrian Mullen to get back on Hayes. Normally Hayes gets loose like that, he's gone. But Mullen worked back from wing forward, got in the tackle and eventually went out over the line.
Initially it was a white helmet, then it was green, now it's black. That's Kyle Hayes. Just taking it off, not comfortable. Sideline ball, quickly taken. William O'Donoghue takes the hit, still manages to get to his feet. Lays it back for his Gerard Hegarty. Little shimmy to the right, hits it high, hits it gloriously between the posts. It's a goal and a point for Gerard Hegarty.
Yeah, Marty, it was a brilliant score, but Will O'Donoghue, what he had to get through there to get that ball. He took 3 or 4 savage hits, still had the composure to spot Hegarty. A little jink for a man 6'5" or 6. He has brilliant feet and brilliant hands. Made the space and over the bar.
Owen Murphy aiming for TJ Reid. Knocked away from his grasp on this occasion. Kilkenny coming through the middle was Conor Brown. He was fouled. And that is a free for Kilkenny, just inside the Limerick 45.
Yeah, great catch by TJ Reid again. He popped it to Brown, who's very pacey and tough. You can see there Mike Casey's left arm coming across. He's definitely fouled. And he got a heavy hit. A lot of big hits going in so far.
Conor Brown getting some medical attention along the sideline. His mom, of course, Angela Downey. What a brilliant camogie player she was. As Kilkenny introduced the substitute, that looks like Conor Fogarty to me.
Yeah, it is Conor. Look at the experience on the bench. Conor Fogarty, Killian Buckley, Walter Walsh, Richie Hogan, lads with a ton of All-Ireland medals. Great men to have to come in there into a tight game. They'll all be introduced later on.
TJ Reid gets his 3rd point. But the All-Ireland champions still in front. 4-point advantage. And the Cats are beginning to snatch on breaking ball and punishing Limerick. Full credit to the Kilkenny captain, Ballyhale Shamrock's Richie Reid.
Yeah, Kyle Hayes will be very disappointed. Great tuck out by Nicky Quaid, but he didn't catch it and left it there for Richie Reid, who loves those opportunities. Point for him and Paddy Deegan now from the half-hour back line. Here's Deegan again.
Deegan, rock solid. Stopped in his tracks by Darragh Donovan. No complaints from Kilkenny. Over for his Keane Kenny. Blocked down, sideline ball. But one senses that Kilkenny, you know, after Gerard Hegarty's goal, you felt the momentum was going to Munster and to Shannon's side. But Kilkenny have settled, Michael.
They have indeed, yeah. And great battle between the Kilkenny half-back line and the Limerick half-forward line. It's fascinating to watch.
Paddy Deegan has a lovely shimmy, has a lovely effort. Gathered under the crossbar by Nicky Quaid. And sent down the wing. Easily gathered. Gerard Hegarty sending it back. Now. He scored 2-2 in the 2021 All-Ireland final. Hurler of the Year 2020. You just sense he's beginning to hit form on July 17th, 2022.
It's the movement, Marty, but the skill level. Like, he's the man for the big occasion, but that's an incredible score again. He's got a goal in 2, and one score has been better than the other. Richie Reid is out in here now. Deegan is inside on Kyle Hayes, with Mikey Carey picking up Tom Morrison.
Again, a long tuck out from Owen Murphy, trying to gather possession down here in front of the Hogan stand. Good work by Owen Cody. Well surrounded. In comes TJ Reid. Needs the support. He has the support. It's Michael Carey. Uses the short grip, although there was nobody near him, and he puts that over the bar. Scored a goal against Westmeath. Scores a point in the All-Ireland final.
There's 3 points now for the half-back line, a point each, and the Limerick half-hour line have a goal and 4 scored. It's, you get this one, I'll get the next one so far.
Barry Nash sending that diagonal ball. Aaron Gillard again uses a short grip, and the forwards are looking so sharp. 3-point opportunities for Aaron Gillard, 3 points taken.
the quality of the scores, Marty, is exceptional. That's a brilliant score. Look at the short grip, look at the movement again. But Kilkenny, TJ Reid leading them brilliantly up front. They're not going out without a fight. This is some battle so far. A brilliant All-Ireland.
Could be Kilkenny still. Ball is just outside the 45. In comes Seamus Flanagan. And now 5 of the 6 Limerick forwards have now all scored. Graham Mulcahy is the only one that hasn't yet, but I think there's only a matter of time.
Yeah, and he's had a couple of wides, he had a couple of chances, but the short puckouts are being savaged by the Limerick forwards, and that's no surprise Owen Murphy gone long here.
TJ Reid trying to gather it, Declan Hannon putting in the challenge. Ball sent in from along the sideline. What a point, what a score. Brilliant, Adrian Mullen.
And TJ Reid again, so central, beautiful ball, but Mullen had a lot to do. One step, one look over the bar. We're seeing the best forwards in Ireland all playing out of their skin here so far today.
Kilkenny seem to have come to terms a little bit with the Limerick attack. But what I have to compliment are the Limerick forwards who are putting in the hard work, putting Kilkenny under pressure in their own full back line. Picked up here by Pádraig Walsh, sending it long. In comes Barry Nash, sweeping it away to make sure TJ Reid didn't get near it. Has to gather it first time, and he does. Gets in his clearance or tries to get in his clearance despite Adrian Mullen. Got it in sufficiently well enough. Here comes Hugh Lawler, but it's gone out over the sideline, sideline ball. Quickly taken. Far as Owen Murphy. Going again, trying to put pressure on. Oh, majestic. Mike Casey. And he wins a free. And he gets a word of compliments from Sean Finn. Mike Casey, watch this. This is glorious.
And he's not the biggest man. Owen Murphy going long. There was a kind of one-to-one there. Billy Ryan really just stood him up there. You know, watch it here now. Watch Billy Ryan coming in. And he stands his ground. To me, he doesn't do anything wrong there. Casey got hurt. He got hurt in the tackle, but to me, it's a fair tackle.
Mike Casey, the Piercing man, under 21 All-Ireland medalist back in 2015, but the buzz around Croke Park is the former Garrod Hegarty. He scored a goal in 2 points. Watch this for an absolute cracker. The goalkeeper is Owen Murphy, one of the best, if not the best in the game. It is just magical.
And the power, Marty, his left-handed, just pushed Richie Reid, you know, back that yard to create the angle to give himself the chance to get the shot away.
Looks like Mike Casey could be in trouble here.
The ref can't restart the game when his helmet is off. The crowd are getting frustrated here, but
John Kiley is obviously concerned. Helmet is back on. Referee is happy enough, I think, for play to continue. Declan Hannon going to take, Dermot Burns, I think it is, back, is going to take this free. Two points already on the scoreboard. Make it 3. They're hurling really, really well, the All-Ireland champions. When they strike the ball, it's just, you can hear it on the hurling.
It's almost ridiculous that this is like, and how easily hit that, and how far it went over the bar. That's just unbelievable. But it's Dermot Burns, Hegarty, their big men, Barry Nash, all playing brilliantly so far.
Good work by Hugh Lawler, gets as far as Paddy Deegan. This is what I mentioned earlier. This is Limerick forwards putting the pressure on the Kilkenny backs, not allowing them out. Along the sideline, ball is still in there. Now shall not pass, the 11 commander from Limerick. They can play football down there as well. But Kilkenny eventually come away with it and they'll just drive it out. No fancy stuff, up long. Here's an opportunity. Sean Finn, in comes TJ Reid. TJ Reid trying to get inside the cover. His jersey is pulled. Still, the backs are under pressure. Martin Keown, Mossy is put out over the end line, halfway into Hill 16, and the ball is signalled wide. And again, you have to admire Kilkenny, they don't complain.
No complaining, savage defending there, but Limerick, or Kilkenny do quite well out of that long ball into the full forward line. Maybe not so much on top of their half line, but they look dangerous when it goes in there. TJ Reid is sweeping in. He's out the field some of the time. He's in corner forward now again on Barry Nash, and he's really proven a handful.
blood substitution has now been reversed. Conor Fogarty gone back to the bench. Here comes Gearóid Hegarty. Will it curl? Will it curl? Hello! No, it's not. It looks like it's wide, says the umpire. Did you think that was wide?
It did. Well, Hawkeye now can decide, not me.
That to me, from my perspective, was a point. And I think Colm Lyons is right. He's been informed by Hawkeye, and Hawkeye is working. Let's see. That to me was just a brilliant point.
You're going to be right, Marty.
I don't know, Michael. I hope I am, obviously, but let's see. Here comes Hawkeye. Is that a thorny? No question. No question. Gearóid Hegarty has scored a goal and 3 points. But that was a brilliant score because he was literally 2 feet along the sideline.
Well, I think anybody in St Andrews today in the golf would be proud of that draw. The beautiful, he set it out 5-10 yards outside the post and turned it in, drew it in over the bar.
Limerick have now scored a goal and 9 points from play. Sideline ball, white flag raised. Mike Casey might have the slither, and he's not giving it up, and except for Paddy Deegan getting involved in silly stuff. Sideline ball given to Kilkenny.
Big 10 minutes now for Kilkenny. They can't afford to go any further behind against this Limerick team. They need a couple of scores.
Mike Casey again. Small in stature, big at heart. Mike Casey coming into challenge again. Graham Mulcahy was charging on Mikey Butler. That crossed the line as such, and that's going to be a free for Kilkenny. TJ Reid coming across to take it. This is what happened here. No question.
Yeah, great play by Butler. There wasn't much on. He looked up and he drove on with the ball and drew the free, and not an easy one, but you expect TJ. He's normally 10 out of 10.
He's 3 out of 3 so far. 7 All-Irelands, 11 Leinster, 5 National League, 6 All-Ireland clubs. What a player. It is TJ Reid. And he hits it superbly over the black spot. Stays in the game. 112-10, 5 points between the teams. Nicky Quaid going long. Kyle Hayes is back with a white helmet, but more importantly he has the slipper. Stopped in his tracks on this occasion, passing the 20. Clap on the back from Aaron Gillane. Good job. But Michael Carey was fouling, so it's a free for Limerick.
Yeah, Mikey Carey very athletic, very strong himself, but just Hayes, once he got goal side of him, just watch the swipe in here over the back, and just mistimed it, and it's a free in.
Since he made his debut in 2017, Aaron Gillane has emerged as a real hurling star. 4th point of the game, twice an All-Star. Just 25 years of age, will be 26 in August.
You see the Limerick full forward line, Marty, standing out 50 yards. They're happy to give up the short one and then to close them down. So Owen Murphy going long, it's working better for them.
Dan Morrison to Barry Nash. A hand to South Liberties. TJ Reid into the centre towards Paddy Deegan, who was available, and that looks like it's sailing between the posts. It's his 2nd point of the game. Another man who made his debut in 2017, primary teacher in Clara, County Kilkenny. Long puck out again, aimed at Gearóid Hegarty. Surely Hegarty's being held by Paddy Deegan. Hegarty gets away. Hopping the slither on the ground. Still Hegarty being forced away from the goalpost. That's good defending by Kilkenny. And by Michael Carey. There's a little bit of afters. The hurley was broken. Gearóid Hegarty is protesting. Referee is having none of it.
Yeah, and on a hot day, that was some gut-wrenching piece of play. Paddy Deegan had just scored. Hegarty set off in a 70-yard run. Quaid picked them up, picked them out, and great defender by Carey.
Ball deflected into the centre. Sean Finn gives it back for his Nicky Quaid. Over for his Dan Morrissey. Morrissey going long. A little bit optimistic as Michael Carey is there. Scoops it up into the hand. Lays it off quickly for his Richie Reid. Richard dropping it in towards the corner. Kilkenny finding it difficult to get past the Limerick defence. Rock solid. Barry Nash, the All-Ireland champion, seeking 3 in a row. Look, very confident. Declan Hannon steps away. And that is just exhibition hurling. Point against Cork, point against Tipperary, point against Clare in the Munster final that we thought was the winner. Point against Galway, and now another one against Kilkenny.
Incredible score. We've seen some great points so far, but hard to match. Finn to Nash to Hannon. How many times have we seen it? Brilliant score.
William O'Donoghue just throwing a leg at it, picked up instead by Adrian Mullen. Lovely hand pass out to TJ Reid, bearing down a goal. He's trying to pull the trigger. He succeeds, but he was stopped illegally. Colm Lyons giving him the free. I think TJ and Kilkenny were protesting a little bit, wanting a little bit more, as Barry Nash came in to challenge.
Yeah, it's going to... There was a yellow there, first yellow of the game, I think. Was it yellow? No, maybe he just take them.
No, I think he just took them, Michael, yeah. TJ Reid, you could see that he was intending to go for goal once he got a little bit of freedom, but Barry Nash did enough to put him off. Every free crucial in an All-Ireland final like this, particularly when you're trailing against a team that's playing with great confidence. Five-point gap again between the teams. Nicky Quaid, Kyle Hayes skipping away and shooting. Is it inside? Yes, it is. Simplicity in motion. Hurling is such a simple game when you're Nicky Quaid and Kyle Hayes. Give it long, give it short, and Hayes registers another point.
Yeah, and that's the thing with them. We saw the last score worked out through Nash and Finn, 2 cornerbacks to Hannon, the centre back, and then you take a long ball like that, hand up, big hand up over the bar. You can play it everywhere.
Lots of space in the middle of the field for Kilkenny. Can they avail of it? Yes, they can. Good score. Full credit to Pádraig Walsh.
Limerick very stubborn in the way they defend. Their 6 backs tend to stay in their positions, and Pádraig Walsh drifts off there and pops a handy score.
Nicky Quaid looking at his options. Richie Reid coming across to gather. Again, they're going long up towards Owen Cody and company. Martin Keown getting inside the cover, but Limerick are back there in sufficient numbers. The Kilkenny forwards that we admired so many times, so many games, they're finding it life difficult to get past this Limerick defence, aren't they?
They aren't able to. Martin, they're working fierce hard, and Martin Keown there, like out in front. Mike Casey, very, very strong man. He still won the ball back and won his free, and you know, I think this will be TJ's 6th free. Limerick have only converted 2 frees so far, so you know, those forwards are winning those frees, and they're keeping themselves in the game.
It's a lovely global view of where TJ Reid is as he's heading down towards Hill 16. Hurler of the Year 2015. Here's TJ. 6 points for the Ballyhale Shamrocks man. They stay in touch, very much alive in this All-Ireland final. And while we've admired Limerick and they've been dominant and they look, some of the scores are just out of other class, Kilkenny are still here, very much to their great credit. The Road Hegarty, I don't even have to look at the Davin end. I knew by himself, he knew that he miscued it. But there's great credit to Kilkenny. They're grafting hard, aren't they, Michael?
Working fierce hard.
Ball skips through the fingertips of one Limerick player, but not the second. Sean Finn gives it to Nicky Quaid. Barry Nash makes himself available. They work themselves out of trouble. Tom Morrissey. The overlap is there. William O'Donoghue going long. Down towards Seamus Flanagan. Flanagan, little turn. He's going to go for it. From in front of the Cusack stand. This time it's wide.
Yeah, that's a couple of bad wides, and that'll breathe a bit of life into Kilkenny.
Long puck out. Unmarked is TJ Reid. Not advisable. Not a good idea. And this time it's wide.
Maybe the heat taking its toll on all the lads there now. Coming up to half time, that was an easy chance for TJ. Maybe too much time on the ball.
Opportunity to reduce Limerick's lead to just 3 points. Heading towards the break. 2 minutes of additional time going to be added on. Aaron Gallagher, hand passing it into the centre. Darragh Donovan, not too sure he intended it to give it to William O'Donoghue, but the midfielders understand each other. Worked out fine. Here comes Dan Morrissey. Morrissey turns. Morrissey scores. They won the Mick Mackey Cup. A great man. Dan Morrissey and his brother Tom are from the very same club, inheriting that great DNA and the oxygen that they breathe around their hand.
And that's the 6 half-backs. 3 from both teams have scored from play in the first half of an Ireland final. I doubt that ever happened before or will ever happen again.
We're gone into injury time. Can Kenny get something before the break? They have it. They hit it and they score. Once again, it's Pádraig Walsh looking sharp around the 45-metre line. Still 4 points between the teams. Nicky Quaid looking down from the Hill 16 goalposts. He's always been first choice since John Kiley took over. Seamus Flanagan missed one a moment ago from the same position. He doesn't miss twice. Fiona Castlemahan well represented by the big full forward.
Yeah, Nicky Quaid just took his time. He wasn't going to puck it out until he had his mind made up, and Hegarty created one-on-one, broke the ball down. Great score by Flanagan.
Kane Owen Murphy goes long. Dermot Burns underneath it, battling with Adrian Muller. Sideline ball conceded. William O'Donoghue just miscuing it, mistiming his run. What a manager John Kiley has proven to be, his 6th year in charge. But then you've Brian Cody just beside you, and nothing compares to Brian. Kilkenny have the possession. Here's Billy Ryan, move from corner forward to the wing. Nowhere to go. There's an opportunity again for TJ to reduce Limerick's lead as we surely head to the break. Little breeze developing here, isn't there, Michael? That is cooling everything down, thankfully.
Yeah, it is up here. I'm not sure if it's as strong. I think it's picking up, and I think Kilkenny have it, so didn't seem to affect a lot of Limerick striking in the first half that much. A light breeze, summer breeze.
That's the angle facing TJ Reid. I have to say, I love this new camera that we have. It's giving us great pictures. TJ Reid. Follows through as he always does with his 7-point of the game. It's been an intriguing contest. Some magical scores. Geroda Hegarty's goal after 3 minutes will be remembered for a long, long time. And Limerick, the dominant team, but Kilkenny Cats are still alive. We're looking forward to a great second half. Plenty to talk about, plenty to analyse as we take some hydration here at half-time. And I hope you're not going to go away from us from the All-Ireland Hurling Final 2022. Kilkenny and Limerick second half, right after the break. At half-time, this is the scoreline. It's Limerick 117, Kilkenny 16 points.
We all had our fingers crossed for a really good competitive All-Ireland final. I think it's fair to say we've largely got one, although we were kind of thinking that Limerick were really playing classily there in the first half, whereas Kilkenny were struggling at times. And yet, Anthony Daly, Limerick, the defending All-Ireland champions, only lead at half-time by 4 points.
Yeah, that's the fascinating bit, Joanne, because it was 6 there with 10 minutes to go, and I was even saying to myself, sitting outside, the next score, if Limerick goes 7 here, anything could happen. Typical the Cats. Hanging in there, you know, fighting for everything that goes up. Even though they are playing second fiddle, they're showing great character, and it's still game on. Very high scoring, Joanne. A little bit loose from both defences, and very enjoyable.
Very enjoyable. We got the goal very early on, and we got a magnificent display from the hurler of the year from a couple of years ago.
Outstanding it was long range free from Nicky Quaid. Gillane comes out. I think he's happy enough just to leave it off. Flanagan, that flick, we're going to look at it, but was an outstanding finish. Like, that's actually not a good angle to be going for a shot from, and to actually beat Owen Murphy by not bouncing the ball just illustrates the power of the shot. But what I want to focus on here is, look at Flanagan, look at his touch, all right? That's from a different sport, but just shows the array of how he, and the combination and the ability he had, but the pick-up as well, because as Hurley's flying in, they're on Hegarty, and to have that power like we had to be able to carry the tackle, but also to finish like that. And backed up then by some incredible points. To have that size, that physicality, and to be blessed with hands like that, it's a special performance.
And even like these ones, Joanne, you know what I mean? Like the defender, Paddy doesn't do a lot wrong here. Like, he's outside him, he's pushed him out to the sideline. Like, that's an incredible score. You know what I mean? He's just, Garrod Hegarty today is playing with that free spirit, where he's just out here, like, you know, taking everything in his stride. He's just loving it being out there, and you can see it in his play.
But they haven't, the handle got on their men, the three half-backs.
No.
They've done well, they've all scored. But, you know, Richie Reid, at times he's on Kyle Hayes, at times he's on TJ, at times he's on Tom Morrissey, so they've confused them on that front.
But you use the words hanging in for Kilkenny, and that's what they have been largely doing. They're only 4 points behind, though.
That's it, Joanne. Like, they've been living off scraps. You know, they haven't got much good ball. Owen Cody has been very deep. At one stage, he took the ball off Kyle Hayes on the edge of the square, tracking him back. When they've worked the ball, they've been good. Deegan has 2 great points scored. Maybe I'd prefer, if I was his manager, to be saying, hi, get a handle on Hegarty and don't mind the points. And they have worked, and TJ has been probably central to everything good that has happened. Won a couple of frees there near the end. They've gotten a couple of good scores. Adrian Mullen, again, loose. Again, it's Reid. He does suck defenders to him, and other lads can get space. But it's the last score, and Pádraig Walsh has come up with 2 big plays. But this is on more of the time, Joanne, and they're not giving it. They're going too long. They go too long. Like, Pádraig Walsh has been scoring like that all year from centre forward. He is pulling off Hannon. They have to find him with that ball much more.
You turned around midway through that first half and you said Kilkenny are being absolutely eaten alive in the puckouts.
Yeah, and that is always a danger. And I said it before the match, across 5, 6 and 7. Like, Limerick love nothing better. And, you know, in fairness, Kilkenny, we give them great credit about the way they're able to field the ball. But, like, they have a fair idea what's coming here, and they'll just swarm. But when they get it, then they're very smart in their distribution. So it's not as if they're going to just lash it back down the field. You know, when they get in, they're all the time then just trying to work the ball out. But, like, this one here is just, you know, it's an incredible moment, I guess, and it's probably been an incredible year. Look, catching out the sky. I mean, you know, you're pucking the ball out within 3 or 4 seconds. It's back over the bar. So they try and change it up, and here's Mikey Butler getting it. And, you know, they try and work it out through the lines. And this is the danger with when you meet Limerick on a go day. That's what they'll do. They'll swallow you up inside your own 65, and all of a sudden they turn you over, and it's back over the bar. So right now, they're not really having that excellent movement to get space. They're trying to go down on top of their heads, and Limerick are loving it. And when they look to go short, they're eating them alive as well. So it's a big problem for Kilkenny.
Plenty of problems, plenty of brilliant moments of skill in that first half as well. We are really, really looking forward to the second half. That's coming up. It is Limerick who are on course to retain their All-Ireland hurling title, make it 3 in a row, but only just. They lead Kilkenny at half-time by those 4 points. We talked about Garrod Hegarty before the break, but obviously it's certainly been far from a one-man show.
Far from a one-man show, and Limerick have been well on top, right, for the most part of the game, and it's actually to Kilkenny's credit that they haven't blown them away. At the start of the game, the full-back line looked under pressure. This was Gillane going back 2 years ago when he seemed to be dropping to Hurley a lot for whatever reason, and there were opportunities in there if Limerick actually went to pick out their men better inside. And in examples like this, if this was anybody else getting overturned like this, they'd be throwing in the towel. But Kilkenny have stuck in there as well as possible.
Yeah, no, they definitely have, and as you said, they deserve great credit. But, you know, they are under pressure at the back because all of the Limerick forwards, you know, outside of Graham Mulcahy have scored. And every time they get the ball, it's their use of the ball, you know, their movement. Every time it's off the shoulder. And, you know, this was the point to put them 6 points up now. You know, I know Declan Hannon had the fist in the air. It might be a bit soon. But, like, Kilkenny, on average, have conceded 118 in their championship matches to date. They've conceded 117 to this Limerick team in the first half alone. So, like, there is worrying signs there, and I think they're on top.
And Joanne, this is going to test Kilkenny now, because the pressure they're under, the heat that's out there, they're playing against a team that are mad to get opportunities, right? They're puckouts. They've both hit 17. Kilkenny have only won 6 long compared to Limerick winning 10 long. They have to. They just can't be going down the belly of the beast.
The madness of hurling, Donald, you'll get, you can be on top, yet you're only a goal and a point ahead. And we spoke about who'd have the energy down the stretch, who'd have the legs down the stretch. So,
what difference can that man there?
I'm not surprised to see that, no. Joanne, because he's going to break that up. He's not going to allow, or from a Kilkenny point of view, you'd hope it, but he's a definite better target for goal long. They need to break it up, and I'm not surprised to see that.
I see Adrian Mullen going up midfield and him in wing forward.
It's Cian Kenny who's gone off the pitch. What a second half we have in store. Back to Michael and Marty.
We certainly are looking forward to it, and away we go. As the next 35 minutes or more will decide where this Liam McCarthy Cup is going to reside for the latter stages of the summer, indeed the autumn and winter. Kilkenny on the attack. Walter Walsh has been introduced at half-time. Limerick under pressure. Ball outside towards Tom Morris, who's back there helping out his defence, but Limerick come away with it. There's the Kilkenny work rate again, but you have to admire. They keep chasing. Harrison. Ball inside from Billy Ryan. Trying to get it back outside first, TJ Reid. TJ Reid gives it in turn. Back outside is Kilkenny. Continue to retain the possession. Good work over for us. Billy Ryan has the opportunity, but there are 3 Limerick players around him, just trying to get a touch into the centre, pulling it in first time. Good work on this occasion by Owen Cody. And at the end of it all, it's a bit of a disappointment for Kilkenny. Positive about their work rate, just a finishing, just a disappointment after all of that.
Yeah, it was Kyle Hayes and Tom Morrissey back from the half back line supporting their own backs, or back from the half forward line. Really, at the end of it all, that would have been huge for Kilkenny to get a score at the end of it.
Long puck out from Nicky Quaid. Gerard Hegarty gathers it. In first, Kyle Hayes. Getting past the initial challenges and then using the short grip, puts it between the posts and over the bar. It's his 3rd point of the game. Played in the All-Ireland minor final in 2016, under 21 and all 17, senior final 18, 20, 21 and 20. Isn't that just remarkable? Like, he's played in every final.
And doesn't lose them.
Ball comes outside towards Dan Morrissey. Limerick defence under a little bit of pressure. Flicked away by Dara Donovan from Doon into the centre. On the sideline is Tom Morrissey. Gets his shot in despite Kilkenny's best efforts, and Walter Walsh in particular. Referee has blown his whistle. Ball goes out over the end line and wide, despite the best efforts of Aaron Gillane.
Yeah, look, Kilkenny are going to need more from their forwards. Their starting forward line have only scored 5 from play. Pádraig Walsh 2, Mullen 1, Keoghan 1, Cody 1. 5 from play. On the other side, you have 1-11 from Limerick.
What a catch. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant play. Ball comes back outside first, Kyle Hayes. Nice ball inside. There's an opportunity for Aaron Gillane. Shooting, scoring. The All-Ireland champions are on fire up front. It's hard to stop them.
Yeah, just so confident. He had lost the previous ball. Hugh Lawler, very, very tight on him, but just his power again, confidence in his own ability, great score.
Puck out comes first, Walter Walsh. Made his debut back in 2012. The ball into the centre, a little flick on, there's a chance here, shot! Oh, brilliant goal! The Kilkenny Cats are purring again. Billy Ryan from Great Ballycallan, created by Walter Walsh, flicked on beautifully, and what a cracking shot that beat a keeper of the quality of Nicky Quaid.
Yeah, he had no chance. Walter Walsh, we talked about the impact of the subs. Walter Walsh came on the last day, was brilliant. Lovely long hand pass over. Martin Keoghan just let it drift across him, and Billy Ryan, he's a goal poacher, and that's a brilliant catch on the way back.
Ball in for is Conor Brown. Good work on this occasion by Adrian Mullen. Long ball required from Martin Keoghan, but that carries a little bit too much power, too much strength off the stick of Owen Cody.
Yeah, and he'll be disappointed. But look at this hand pass. And just Martin Keoghan had let it flow across his body, and Billy Ryan a brilliant finish, and that has Kilkenny right back in this game.
Long puck out from Nicky Quaid. Paddy Deegan. Oh, Owen Murphy having to stretch just a little bit. Goes long. Barry Nash coming across, gets a hand to it. He has Nicky Quaid coming out to the edge of his small rectangle. Unmarked is Gerard Hegarty. looks in the rear-view mirror, has a look around to see if anybody is at home down in Kilkenny. They are, but they can't do anything to stop it. That's a goal and 4 points he scored in this All-Ireland final.
Marty, he makes it look so easy. Like, that's out 90 metres out, he just pops it over the bar. Paddy Deegan has to get tighter on him. It doesn't matter about his own game at this stage or whoever's going to be on him. It's Richie Reid again, he's gone centre forward to keep moving around.
TJ Reid, brilliant catch into the centre. Colin Lyons gets out of the way, comes for his Adrian Mullen, and he sends it between the posts. Excellent play, Kilkenny. What a catch by TJ Reid. Now comes the vision. Ball inside over for his Adrian Mullen. Ballyhale Shamrocks combination.
Reid has been absolutely brilliant. That's one of the scores. Again, we've talked about the quality of the scores, but that's some catch, some vision, and a great finish.
Paddy Deegan underneath it, battling with Gerard Hegarty inside for his Graham Mulcahy. The only one that hasn't scored. That about to be changed, pulls in it, hits off the Kilkenny defender, and they concede off Tommy Walsh's hurling, the 65.
Yeah, it wasn't a great hand pass, to be fair to Graham Mulcahy. He went past him, and good defender Mikey Carey stood him up well, got into flick. I think it went off Tommy Walsh here. Really, he couldn't let it go wide. He got a touch to it.
65 going to be taken by Declan Hannon. Actually, just Diarmaid Byrnes is going to take it. It looked like Declan Hannon was walking up to it, but it's Diarmaid Byrnes. He's already scored 3 points. And out of the 117 that Limerick had at the break, 114 was from play, which is remarkable, really. Patrick Swellman, never in any doubt. No need for a Hawkeye. Straight over the black spot. Owen Murphy looking at the options. Going long. Walter Walsh is underneath it. Ah, there he is. Pádraig Walsh, no relation, wanted it. But Walsh's effort at the short grip just went astray. And that is Kilkenny 7 wide in the match. Huge, huge disappointment for Walsh himself. Look at the catch though by Walter. Brilliant.
Yeah, it's incredible. Darragh O'Donovan was back there. I don't know where Dan Morrissey's off over the far side of the field, so.
Paddy Deegan and Gerard Hegarty again. Good defending again by Kilkenny. James Flanagan trying to get onto it. Coming through powerfully is Gerard Hegarty. This time the Kilkenny backs are there. They stop the shot before it gets to Owen Murphy. Look where Adrian Mullen is. Richie Reid. Paddy Deegan. Line-hearted as always. Gives it to his keeper Owen Murphy. The Kilkenny people are beginning to believe. Lovely ball down for his Walter Walsh. He's already made a contribution. Sending this in. Has it the legs, has it the accuracy. What Gerard Hegarty can do in the first half, Big Walter can do it in the second half. This is a fantastic score. From the man who was man of the match in the 2012 All-Ireland final replay against Galway. It is Walter Walsh.
That's a huge score. He's a massive man. You talk about the size of Limerick, he's as big as any of them. That's power, that's skill, that's composure.
Ball runs on. Hops into the path of Gerard Hegarty. Paddy Deegan is all over it.
Marty, he's given one of the most phenomenal performances so far, isn't he? Like, he scored a 1-4, but he's everywhere. He's looking for every puck out. He's had a couple of other chances. He's thrown a hand pass around there to Mulcahy. He's winning frees. It's just the level of performance in an Ireland final is just phenomenal.
He really is having a fine All-Ireland final. Goal and 4 points already scored. I can't see John Kiley taking him off today.
I wouldn't think so. And he wouldn't have been happy the last night to be taken off, but he probably wasn't playing to his normal standards, and that's good management, and he's reacted the right way.
Aaron Gillard with the point. John Kiley continues to direct from the sideline. Just having a word with Paul Kinnerk off camera, I can see, as the ball is dropped in just outside the number 20-metre line. Chasing after Conor Brown. Coming across, just getting a touch was Mike Casey. Kilkenny have it. Martin Keown sending it across field. Big Walter Walsh underneath it. It was a bit optimistic, but I could see what Martin Keown was trying to do. Graham Mulcahy lays it off for us. Declan Hannon. Hannon has the time to look around and see who's making the run. Seamus Flanagan is the chosen one. On his shoulder is Aaron Gillane, and that ball is wide. .118 to 122 it remains.
Yeah, Limerick have hit a few. I know Kilkenny have had a few wides as well, but Limerick have had a couple of easy ones there. They probably should be further ahead. To leave Kilkenny in, a dangerous thing to do.
In terms of wides, actually, Michael, it's 7 each. 7 for Limerick, 7 for Kilkenny. Ball just inside the wide line. Declan Hannon. Getting it for us, Kyle Hayes. Having a little chat with Adrian Mullen, if you want to use the term loosely.
Yeah, looking down, Graham Mulcahy has retreated way out the field. The Limerick half forward end is back down the field, or midfield, back around the half back line, and it's leaving tons of room down in front of Flanagan and Aaron Gillane. You saw them combine the last time. Aaron hit it wide at the end. Kilkenny using their bench again here now. We saw the impact already Walter Walsh is making. John Donnelly ready to come, and you'd imagine Limerick will have to start thinking about it as well.
There's TJ Reid's angle, the sideline cut, dropping in. Dan Morrissey comes across to gather it. Mike Casey is a support player. The Road Higgerty is back in cornerback. Over for Dan Morrissey again, and they work themselves out of trouble. Good play, Limerick. Darragh O'Donovan steps away from the challenge. Sends it long up towards Aaron Gillane. Didn't quite catch it. Owen Murphy decides not to leave it go out over the end line. They are trailing by 4 points. They get on with the business. Ball in towards TJ Reid. Beautifully caught. TJ without a hurling. Gives it inside. A little touch. Beautiful stick work. Here comes another goal. Brilliant Kilkenny. Fantastic Kilkenny. Martin Keown, who has scored 4 goals and 3 points on the journey to Croke Park, has changed the All-Ireland hurling final. But look at the stick work. Look at the feeling of Reid. Look at the vision. It's the little flick Ferris Keown, and he rattled the back of the Limerick net.
Well, TJ Reid has been doing it all game. Look at that for vision, but the brilliant first touch by Keown. That's a great goal. I mentioned it a minute ago, you leave Kilkenny in and at your peril, and now we have a real All-Ireland, and Limerick are going to be looking at the bench now as well, because Walter Walsh has made a huge difference. Donnelly is on there now as well.
John Donnelly has been introduced. Walter Walsh has already made an impact. Will Richie Hogan be introduced? We heard that in training he's the man. Meanwhile, it's Kilkenny. They've been transformed at the start of this second half. The ball from way out the field. It's John Donnelly's very first touch in the All-Ireland final. The Cats, they were never gone away. You can see why they've won 36 All-Ireland titles. Brilliant, Kilkenny. They are level for the very first time in Croke Park. Brian Cody has made the changes. Limerick have used their bench all through this championship. Are they now required as the All-Ireland champions' cage has been rattled a little bit? Ball from Tom Morrissey flies between the posts. It's a second point.
And who was it? Hegarty again. Brilliant catch. Lovely flick back to Morrissey. Great score. What a game, Marty. What an All-Ireland final. We're expecting a great game. This is a classic, and it's going to go down now for the last 20 minutes.
Peter Casey is being introduced in his second appearance since last year's All-Ireland final, when he picked up a cruciate injury. The player that's going off is Graham Mulcahy for Kilmallock.
Dan Morrissey has come over here now, left half back on Walter Walsh. This is going to be crucial. Walsh has been hugely influential.
Brilliant catch. In comes the hit, fair and square. Comes back for us, Declan Hannon. Good work by Dermot Burns, but Burns was fouled. Referee's whistle was blown. We can hardly hear it now with the din and the noise. It is a free for Limerick just outside their own 45-metre line. Brian Cody thinking about making the changes. James McGarry right beside him. Big discussion along the sideline. Paul Kinnerk and John Kiley also realise that Kilkenny are very much back in this match now. It's time to look at the bench. Peter Casey. Now is the time when they could do with Cian Lynch, but he's not there. Will David Reedy, who scored 3 points in the semi-final against Galway, be introduced? Standing back is Dermot Burns. Score of 4 points. A man on 4. just outside his own 45. Slither is flying through the air. Slither is bang on target. 5th point of the match for the Patrick Swell club now.
And he took his time already taking that. I think he just wanted to, let the clock tick a bit. But that's 2 brilliant points by Limerick since Kilkenny got their 2nd goal. Great reaction by the champions.
Owen Murphy bombarding Limerick half backline. Walter Walsh and TJ Reid seems to bounce off his shoulder just as his ball was coming down. Declan Haney took a road. Hegarty getting away from Paddy Deegan. On his shoulder was William O'Donoghue. O'Donoghue puts the ball into the space over towards Aaron Gillane, just outside the D, scoops it up, tries to get it a little bit of space, but the pass back is a poor one. John Donnelly latches onto it. Slither on ground trying to scoop it up, manages to get into the paw. Surely he is fouled. Referee says no. A little bit of a surprise there. Comes first Paddy Deegan, and Deegan lets fly from the middle of the field, but the umpire has no doubt. Ball is wide.
Yeah, I think they would have settled that. Looked a free to me on John Donnelly. Paddy Deegan will be disappointed. He has scored 2. These are all crucial now. It's all about the right decision making from now on.
Sean Finn, dispossessed. Not often you see him in a spot of bother. Dan Morrissey is in there as well. Finn is there to recover the situation. Rolls it back for Nicky Quaid, who almost let it out for a 65. These are all little signs, Michael. I would suggest that the Limerick cage is just a little bit rattled.
It absolutely is. An All-Ireland final is gone down to the wire.
3 in a row is at stake for Limerick. 37 for Kilkenny. Kilkenny man fouled. That's Adrian Mullen. Sideline ball, however.
I don't think he...
Looked like he was fouled.
Yeah.
Sideline ball for Limerick. Now, did Nicky Craig keep it in? He was just about. He did well.
That was a big hit there by Hegarty.
Limerick introducing David Reedy. Not surprising. Peter Casey is on. David Reedy is on. Dara Donovan is the player that's going off.
Great block there by Paddy Deegan on Hegarty. He was just about to launch another one over the bar.
Gerard Hegarty waiting for the slither. Side Todd Dwyer. This is Paddy Deegan. There's Courage. There's a great block down off the stick of Gerard Hegarty. Shipping it into the space. Coming across is Richie Reid. Over towards his goalkeeper, Owen Murphy, who surely will go long again because it's a strategy that's working well. They're dropping it in around the 20-metre line. Breaking ball. Good anticipation by Barry Nash. To Gerard Hegarty again. Sweet ball. Sweet ball. Farrell's Tom Morrissey decides to take his point. Has turned it again.
I don't know where Hegarty is getting the energy, but he popped up there, took the pass off Nash. A beautiful ball to Morrissey. That's 1-10 now from the Limerick half-forward line.
Kilkenny introduce another substitute. This is David Blanchfield is coming on from Bennett's Bridge. Just 22 years of age, 2nd year on the panel. Stalemate on the Kilkenny 65-metre line. John Donnelly is with the slither in hand, trying to get to his feet, trying to pass the ball. Has to release it. Limerick have it. David Reedy over first Gerard Hegarty. Sending this in towards Aaron Gillane. Good work by Hugh Lawler. Type of ball that's going into Gillane is not great, but he's not winning them either, to be honest with you. Kilkenny go long. Knocked down by Sean Finn. Owen Cody there for Kilkenny. Trying to roll it up onto the hurley. There's plenty of Limerick defenders there. Good work by the captain. Sending it up towards Peter Casey. Stalemate there. Trying to keep a foot in there as much as possible. I think there's going to be a throw ball. Tension is quite palpable now. Crowd just a little bit silent because this is intriguing. Ball taken away by Tommy Walsh. Referee has blown his whistle, giving a free to Kilkenny.
And Marty, you really have to admire the Kilkenny full back line. You know, they've been under a lot of pressure, a lot of 50-50 balls gone in there. But Hugh Lawler, Mikey Butler, Tommy Walsh have stuck to their task, and they've got on top of that Limerick full forward line in the second half. Mulcahy is gone. Casey hasn't made any impact so far. And as you said there a minute ago, Aaron Gallant has lost 3 or 4 balls in a row to Hugh Lawler.
Don't think there's anybody in the county of Limerick right now watching this All-Ireland final. Don't seem to be here when Limerick get going again, but they're under the cosh at the moment. Just kept in play. Good work by Billy Ryan. Martin Keoghan, who provided that little bit of a pass over towards Billy to score the goal. Trying to give it back, still Keoghan into the centre. TJ Reid knocking it back. Penny Deegan, head down as usual. Swarmed around by 4 Limerick players. Had to release the ball. Diarmaid Burns comes away with it. Gives it back for Nicky Quaid. Nicky Quaid comes under a little bit of pressure. Cool and composed. Dan Morrissey. There's only one Limerick player inside the Kilkenny half of the field, and there's just black and amber everywhere. Mikey Butler took his eye off the ball, which allowed Limerick to convert. Butler, struggling to keep his feet on the ground, is surely taken down, and that's going to be a free for the O'Loughlin Gills 22-year-olds.
Yeah, Limerick look a bit spooked to me, Marty. Like they're through all their forwards there, their whole half forward line. Barry Nash got the ball, he'd know where. You never see Limerick doing that. He'd know where they hit it. They just poked it away. So they're going to need to get their shape back, and at least keep a couple of lads in their half forward line.
Yeah, I was just going to say that actually. They've lost their shape up front, which is something obviously that Paul Kinnerk, who's a great tactical brain, and John Kiley will have to work on.
Yeah, they're going to have to. Look, maybe it was only temporarily, but they all got back behind the ball. They did prevent the Kilkenny score.
They're talking about exactly what we're talking about up here. What can we do?
TJ's
they are
3
points in front.
Two, so he's going to have to go back with it.
TJ Reid, he's inside his own 45-metre line. Scored 7 frees in the first half. Looks like he's going to go for it. That is well on its way. The King of Beauty. Never in any doubt. Just hit it sweetly.
Yeah, brilliant score. He's having a brilliant game, showing fantastic leadership.
First score, 10 minutes for Kilkenny. 2 points between the teams now. 13 minutes to go. Tom Morrissey. Oh, great catch, great turn, brilliant score. 4th point of the match. He's beginning to find the form. Remember, he was the one that scored the goal in the All-Ireland final in 2018.
Lovely passage to play, great take by Hayes, lovely ball by his brother Dan. That's 3 for Hayes and 1-4 for Hegarty. That's some contribution.
2 against 2. And Walter Walsh is in there. Breaking ball, scooping it up. Mike Nash is in there. So too is Mike Casey, Barry Nash. But it's Limerick and Paddy Deegan. He is fouled. You have to love Paddy Deegan, because what he does simply is put his head down. He is full of courage. Sometimes he might be deemed to be charging, and sometimes he is fouled.
Well, I think he was charging there.
I think so too.
You give me 2 options, Martin. You'll sort of force me to call it. You know, but look,
I think he was charging
spurred him on,
too.
but I think he was. He's very far up the field, and that's as he's after getting a few balls up there. That's because the Limerick half forward then are really pushing back into that area.
TJ Reid with his 9th point of the match. Listen to the roar. Richie Hogan has been introduced by his manager. Can he change the tone of the match even further? 7 times an All-Ireland medalist. Kyle Hayes into the centre. Ball is floating in high, floating to the left and wide. Well, you can't blame him for trying, because after all he had scored 4 already. Conor Boylan being introduced for Seamus Flanagan, as Limerick acknowledge the fact that they do have a problem up front at the moment, and they will try and reshape it with instructions from Paul Kinnerk and John Kiley. Long took out again, Walter Walsh runs on for Adrian Mullen. He's going to go for it. And what's more, he's going to do it. You just can't beat class. And down in Ballyhale, they have the class.
Yeah, but that came about because both Dan Morrissey and William O'Donoghue went under the high ball with Walter Walsh. They were worried about Walsh catching it. They took their eye off Mullen. He slipped in behind, struck a beautiful score.
Just 1 point between the teams. 10 minutes to go. And maybe a bit more. Cleverly, the Road Hegarty knocks it down to William O'Donoghue. Goes back outside to David Reedy. He did this in the semi-final against Galway. And he's on fire again. Brilliant play, David Reedy.
And brilliantly worked. Hegarty again knocked it down, but William O'Donoghue could have taken a snapshot.
Hawkeye is coming in. We've just been informed that the referee, we saw the referee has blown his whistle. He's indicated, and this could well be a change in the scoreline. That looked like it was over the bar initially, at least. But Hawkeye has, I'd say, indicated that this, let's see, is just outside. The virtual post means that it is just outside.
Shows you the value of Hawkeye. You know, it's not there. That's given. Could decide an All-Ireland final.
Disappointment for John Kiley. Just looking at this again. Hard to see from that perspective.
It's not given anyway, so
not given.
Looked to finish on the outside of it, didn't it? At the end of it, anyway.
Yeah. 62 minutes on the clock. 29 points. 222, 126. TJ Reid, wisely. That's experience. Going back outside. Creates the better opportunity, but the ball is wide. The Reid brothers were combining nicely, but the finish was just a little bit off. Long took out for us, Kyle Hayes. Dropping this in. Kilkenny under the cosh. Good work by Mikey Butler. Keeping it down the wing. First touch. Second touch. It's Richie Hogan, Hurler of the Year 2014. He'll be 34 years of age on the 8th of August. And that is class no matter how old you are.
It is, Marty. And David Blanchfield, young player, great composure to pick out Hogan. But what a touch, what a score. He must have been chomping at the bit to get in there today. And that's a great way of answering Mr. Cody when he got his chance.
Beautiful score by Richie Hogan. Limerick, the All-Ireland champions, respond. It's Kyle Hayes with his fourth pointed again. That's the sign of champions. That's character that you need at this level when you've 82,300 around you and you have to try and win 3 All-Irelands in a row.
Well, you do. It's an absolute cracker of a game, and that half forward line I'm talking about from here to start. Tom Morrissey's just out on his feet. He scored 4. Cathal O'Neill is in for him now at centre forward. Hayes moving on to the wing.
Cathal O'Neill, just 20 years of age, scored 9 points in the championship campaign so far. He's been introduced for Tom Morrissey. Billy Ryan just left it behind him. Latching onto his Mike Casey. Ball scrambles, but somehow Mike gets his hurley to roll it up the slither, and away come Limerick again. Kyle Hayes blocked on this occasion. Has to go back to retreat, try and gather it. Kilkenny chasing. Harris, wonderful to watch. John Donnelly. Limerick know that if they're going to win the 3 in a row, they're going to earn it, that's for sure. TJ Reid at the edge of the square with Mike Casey. Dan Morrissey arrived. TJ Reid gets around the corner, thought he was going to throw the ball into the centre. There's Walter Walsh. Can he get a touch? Limerick are there, holding on to the Hurling. And Ranches says the referee, and Limerick, the All-Ireland champions, come away with it. Listen to the roar as they come down into the middle of the field. Lovely little turn as Limerick have it now with Carl O'Neill with his first touch. Can he do a Richie on it? The ball is going to go to Hawkeye. Hawkeye once again employed. So glad that Hawkeye went to the optician. He's being employed big time in the second half. Is this a thaw? Is it a kneel? Every decision now is vital. Have no doubt, that is a point for Limerick. Carl O'Neill.
And that came from brilliant defending at the other end. TJ Reid threw across the ball, looked for the goal chance. Dermot Burns came away, played a 1-2 and got the ball to O'Neill, who pops it over for a great score.
Long puck out from Owen Murphy. Jan Morrissey comes in to gather. Sends it into the centre. Dermot Burns just couldn't quite control it. It's still alive. Pulls it in nicely. Tries to gather it second time round. Good work by Adrian Mullen. Such courage, such bravery by both teams. Adrian Mullen dropping this in. Knocked away. Barry Nash comes away with it. And goes for the return pass. Conor Boylan did well. Knocked it away from Tommy Walsh. Conor Boylan sends it high. And Boylan scores. What an amazing point by Conor Boylan, who has always been a sub, always been trying to get on his place on the starting 15. The Piercing man is a hero today.
Oh yeah, and coolness to play the ball out, barely got to him, and he doesn't score that often when he comes on, but that's a great one at a vital time.
3 points again between the teams, 32 points to 29. Stalemate outside the D, Limerick half of the field. 3 points between them, 3.5 minutes to go. When Limerick were tested by Galway in the semi-final, it was in these couple of minutes that they responded. Peter Casey, is that inside, or do we go to Hawkeye again? Ball signal wide.
I think it was wide, and he'll be disappointed. Easy chance.
Good puck out all the way down past Adrian Mullen. Front of the Cusack stand, has a go. Ball is wide. Little bit of inexperience there.
Yeah, he has 3 great points scored. He'll be very disappointed. That was an easy one from the puck out, just reaching from Owen Murphy. Hit all the time in the world. Casey with a poor one, but look, Marty, the heat out there. These lads must be wrecked, tired, and it's very easy to say it from up here, but what a game, what an All-Ireland final.
It was 27 degrees when we started. Might be a little bit cooler up here now, but it's hot on the pitch. Kyle Hayes pulled down as he was going through. They're doing what they did against Clare in the Munster final when it went to extra time. They did it against Galway. Those final 5-10 minutes, they seem to have the character, they seem to have the squad, the All-Ireland champions.
They do, they have the power, but it's Hayes. Hegarty was unbelievable for the first 50-55, and then since then Tom Morrissey came into it, then Hayes again. The 3 of them have been unbelievable in that half-forward line. There'll be no question asked who's the most important line, who are the most important players. It was 10, 11, 12.
Aaron Gillard going for his 7th point of the game. Dead straight in front of the posts. White flag will be raised and blown in the summer breeze. They can hardly watch on Hill 16. Minute and a half to go. Kilkenny 2:23, that's 29. Limerick 1 goal and 30 points. 33 points. It really is a pulsating All-Ireland hurling final. Here comes Big Walter. Declan Hannon lays it off quickly. O'Neill drops it in. Hugh Lawler is in there with Aaron Gillard. Doesn't have a hurley, but still Hugh Lawler still battles away. He's trying to protect it and picked up in turn by Tommy Walsh. Full credit to Hugh Lawler. Owen Murphy finds himself under pressure. Referee has blown his whistle. He's given a free to Kilkenny for the challenge on the keeper. 4 added minutes, we've just been told, going to be added on. Plenty of time for this man. to produce not just an equaliser, but indeed to win the game.
Yeah, you still feel they're going to need another goal, and who's to say they won't get one with the forward line they have there now.
Owen Murphy dropping this in around the 20-metre line. Breaking ball, in comes Walter Walsh. Limerick backs, rock solid, but picked up and turned by John Donnelly, trying to get through. Free out to Limerick. There was a wall of green and white. There was nowhere for John Donnelly to go.
They were all there, Hannon, Burns, the half back line, but the half forward line in there as well. There's Will O'Donoghue, the enforcer.
Alan Murphy going to be introduced for Kilkenny. We're just gone past the 70th minute. 4 to go. Ball is dropped in on the D. This time, it's Tommy Walsh. Gives it plenty of air. Knocked away. Dan Morrison, Walter Walsh coming in to challenge. Ball flicked away, fires William O'Donoghue. The road Hegarty. There's nobody down in front of the Cusack stand. That's why he's having to hold the possession. He did look up. He looks up again. He gives it plenty of air. The slither is going between the posts. Fantastic! Now there is a man that can play his hurling in the greatest cauldron in the world, Croke Park, on our Ireland final day, when your county, your team, really need you.
Kyle Hayes gone back into the full-back position. I think he's going to stay there for the rest of the game. They know now at this stage if they don't concede a goal, it should be okay.
Gerard Hegarty has now scored a goal and 5 points. Hurler of the Year 2020. I know I said it already. 2-2 in the 2021 All-Ireland final. Had only scored 10 points up to the semi-final. 110, 111 coming into this final. And he scored 1-5 today. Remarkable. Man for the big occasion. Comes back to Tommy Walsh. Floating this in. It could do a little bit more than that. It's going to go over the bar. First point in the championship for Tommy Walsh from Tullaroe.
Yeah, good score. That's what they need to do. Keep taking away.
Still time. Great score by the cornerback. Brian Cody directing. John Kiley is almost breathless.
Can they be looking for another quick point now to get it back to a goal? Come down to the last minute.
Nicky Quaid goes long. Kilkenny have to get the possession. In comes Gerard Hegarty. Flicking in for David Reedy. Referee is in the way. Kilkenny have it. Good work by Martin Keogh. Laying it off. Alan Murphy with his first opportunity since being introduced. He goes for the score. It looks good to me. It's over the bar. The Glenmore boys have done well. Brother of the keeper. It brings them back to within shouting distance, within goal-scoring distance. 34 points to 31. 131 Limerick, 225 Kilkenny. What a fabulous catch. Kilkenny are giving it everything. They're going for the score after the catch, and it's gone over the bar. Remarkable. Absolutely brilliant play. David Blanchfield, the substitute, comes on. What a marvellous bit of fielding.
What a score from the young man. I mentioned him a few minutes ago. What a county Kilkenny are. What a passion, pride they have. They never give up. Look at Cody there. He's driving them on. This is an unbelievable finish now.
Kilkenny need the possession now. Knocked away by Gerard Hegarty. Still. Good work by Mikey Butler. Ball is on the ground. Peter Casey is in there. It's going to be a throw ball. 20 seconds to go.
Limerick are just going to want to keep this here, just fall over it again.
What a game we've had here at Croke Park. What an All-Ireland final. Day to remember. Is it a day where Limerick win 3 in a row? Kilkenny come good. Sideline ball. Linesman has his flag up.
I think that's it now.
Kilkenny not happy at all. People on their feet all around the ground. John Kiley telling them, keep your cool, use your head. Ball is sent along the surface. Sideline ball this time, it's going to Kilkenny. We're gone past the 74th minute. 82,300 people can hardly hold their breath. Is there more time? It's now at the discretion of the referee. Is this going to be the day when Limerick win 3 in a row? Join Kilkenny, Tipperary and Cork. Is there more time left for Kilkenny? The referee blows the full-time whistle. Limerick are the All-Ireland champions. They have made history. You are watching history. Whether you're in France, New York, Chicago, Glenmore, Patrickswell, Ahad, wherever you are, this is history in the world of the GAA. That doesn't happen every day of the week. 4 out of 5 All-Irelands have now been won by Limerick. For Brian Cody, a wonderful manager, he will go over and congratulate the victor, John Kiley. For Declan Hannon, what a captain. He did it with his school Arts Galreach. He did it with his college, Winnie Fitzgibbon. He's done it with his county. He is remarkable. So too was John Kiley. Brian Cody congratulates him. They did it last time they shook hands. John Kiley was heartbroken. Today, he is a man that is joyful and rightly will celebrate. For Tom Morrissey and company, this is a wonderful day. Look at Cian Lynch, hurler of the year, not once but twice. But if you're going to win in All-Ireland, you have to beat Kilkenny if you're going to have the gravitas, because Kilkenny are something special.
Well, first off, Marty, what a brilliant All-Ireland final. The emotion is just unbelievable up here. Dave Punch is beside us, great Limerick man. He's in tears. Dave won't mind me saying this means so much to them. Kilkenny, Cork and Tip have done it, but for Limerick to do it, you know, to win 3 in a row, for Declan Hannon, a brilliant leader, a brilliant captain, who's going to lift the Lee McCarthy Cup for the 4th time. But what a game. You have to give huge credit to Kilkenny. Limerick had to go to the well, and only for the performance of a lifetime from Hegarty, from Hayes and from Tom Morrissey, they were in trouble. But well done to Limerick, but also to Kilkenny for producing an unbelievable Ireland final, what hurling is all about.
And Kilkenny gave it absolutely everything. They're heartbroken, but my word, you'd have to admire them. Tears of heartbreak and disappointment. They died in their boots, as they say, because today was a battle. They didn't have a great opening 15-20 minutes. They were down at the break, but my word, what a second half. That was Kilkenny's spirit, and we have to give them due credit.
We have to give them massive credit, and their substitutes worked. You know, Walter came on, Richie Hogan, David Blanchfield, the 3 of them scored a point each. John Donnelly, 4 of their subs came on and got a point each. They all made a massive impact. They didn't have the household names that Limerick have, but they have team, they have heart. Everything that's great about Kilkenny hurling we saw today, but they came up against one of the all-time great teams today, who were tested to the limit but found a way, who responded brilliantly to the 2 Kilkenny goals in the second half, and as I say, just produced. And there's Kiley, what a man as well.
The All-Ireland winning manager, John Kiley. Limerick are All-Ireland champions for the 11th time. They have done the 3 in a row. They join Kilkenny, they join Cork, and they join Tipperary. What a wonderful day this has been for the game of hurling. William O'Donoghue and Gearóid Hegarty celebrate, and rightly so. This group of hurlers have achieved history, remarkable. For Brian Cody, he will rebuild and start again because he already has a great team here, and it is a Cody trait and character. They work so hard, and that, as I've mentioned, has to be admired. They've won this All-Ireland, when you think about it, without Cian Lynch, hurler of the year. He had little or no involvement during the year.
Yeah, that can't be underestimated. For any county, Kilkenny won Ireland without JJ Delaney at their peak, but Cian Lynch, hurler of the year twice. He's the man that makes them think. I believe last Sunday below in Limerick in the Gaelic grounds, he was given an exhibition in their training match, and next thing he went over in the ankle. So I think when you factor that in, they've given us so much enjoyment over the last number of years, and you know, if any team deserves anything, I think they deserve the 3 in a row.
There is Peter Casey and Mike Casey, and certainly what I'm amused at is that there is nobody leaving Croke Park. Nobody is heading down to anywhere. This is a day and a moment they want to savor. Listen to the roar. 2,300 are here to witness this. Green and white, a sea of green and white all over the ground. Look at that. The full-time score here in Croke Park, it's Kilkenny 226, Limerick 1 goal and 31 points. Limerick All-Ireland champions for the 3rd year in a row.
And isn't it absolutely extraordinary that even after those few years, when those few bars of that Cranberry song ring out, the reaction it has? What a final, what a set of champions, Anthony Daly.
Yeah, Dolores, got to be good to her, one of their own. You know, some scenes, what champions is right, John, and you know, the Cats, what a county, what an All-Ireland, Joanne, what a sport this game is. There's nothing like it. There never will be. Played in July, played in September. There's no game like hurling.
Colin O'Rourke was here a week ago and he said that Dublin v Kerry was possibly the greatest sporting occasion he'd been at. This will fairly rival it, Liam Sheedy.
There's nothing to beat a game of hurling when it's played like that. And you know, you have to give great credit to both teams. You know, Kilkenny, any other team on today, I think, when they went 6 points down and they got a few hammer blows, they would have rolled over. But this Kilkenny team refused to wilt and they refused to roll over, and they gave us an enthralling contest from start to finish, and it was a real pleasure to be sitting here watching it. But Limerick, you know, in the last 2 years, Joanne, they never really got a chance to celebrate properly. They couldn't have a homecoming, and today they get their just rewards with a full house here, and it was a fantastic game of hurling to watch.
And if there is one man who knows what it's like to turn on a performance when it comes to All-Ireland final day, that is Gearóid Hegarty. He's now with Damien.
Thanks very much, Joanne. Gearóid Hegarty, Limerick 3 in a row. What does this mean to you today?
That's what it means. That's what it means. Absolutely incredible. I think it's the first time we've had a full crowd here in I don't know how long, but that was some battle. That was some battle. We have so much respect for those Kilkenny boys out in the field, what they've done. They're some of the best hurlers ever to play the game, and we knew it was going to be as hard as it was, and by God it was. But I'm just absolutely delighted. It's just, what a place. I love this place so much. What a day. What a day for Limerick fans.
Do you realise these are the best days? Do you realise these are the best days of your lives as well?
How can you not? Listen to the Loris here in Croke Park in front of 82,500 people. It does not get any better than that, I'll tell you. We put down a few hard months like we did every year in pre-season this year with a tough league. But it's all about today. It's all about these days. What a day.
Well done, Gearóid. Congratulations.
Larry McCarthy, president of the GA, presents the Liam McCarthy Cup to Declan Hannon in the presence of Cian Lynch. And together, they celebrate the 3 in a row under the watchful eye of John Kiley. The pictures tell the story, dreams do come true. Hard work does pay off. They have joined Kilkenny, Tipperary and Cork on winning 3 in a row. 4 All-Irelands in 5 years. This was a very special day in the history of the GA.
Tá ná Hasaram and Coran Liam Vic Conley and Glocka Erson for the